right to get started. Is it working now? Great, thank you. All right, it's my pleasure to introduce the upcoming session where we're continuing looking at technology and aging. And our first speaker is Denise McAllister Wilder. She's a PhD candidate in the Purdue Polytechnic Institute, and she will be looking at architectural visualization.
Thank you, Shirley. Okay, good morning. I'm so happy to be here. Okay, if the clicker doesn't work, what does that mean? It was working? Oh, okay. Just a little overview. We're going to talk about myself and the background of the research that I'm working with and my objectives, the significance of the problem, and then I'm hoping to show you an example of what I'm in the process of creating. Myself, beyond my bio, I worked as an interior designer and been very interested in universal design issues for my whole career, but almost 8 years ago I was involved in a very serious head-on collision, and I had a C2 fracture and all my arms and legs were broken. People came to visit me in the hospital and they're like talking to me and they're like, she's fine, because luckily no head injury and no trunk. But anyway, my sister teases me when I was in the intensive care unit for a couple days. I actually told her, I said, this is going to be good for my career because I can really, relate better to my clients, and it really has turned out to be. Where am I supposed to point the clicker? Okay, as we all know, the elderly population is growing, and it's that's why we're all here. We're all working. Of interest to me is, and I've read many studies that say it's not necessarily the person that's disabled, it's the built environment's inability to support their physical needs that causes disability. And my passion and my goal for many years has been to minimize those inadequacies in the built environment. Also, I'm working with 3D modeling software, and I've seen young interior design students, young construction management students rely on the families. They're called families. Like if you insert, like templates kind of, if you're working on a floor plan and you insert a barrier-free restroom, let's say, they're just like plopping in what the ADA recommends. And in those years that I was walking, using a wheelchair, that was pretty quick, but then I was on a walker and then I walked with a cane. I realized that what the ADA recommends is fabulous if you're in a wheelchair. But if you've got a cane or a walker, these cavernous restrooms, I remember specifically, and as an interior designer, I never thought of it, when I would wash my hands and the towels, the drying mechanisms way across the room. So I have to pick up my cane with my wet hands, and the floors are often, so it's like, wait a minute, this is contraindicated. What we thought we needed is not at all what we need. And during those years, I walked with a cane for 2 years. I saw a lot of the challenges that as what we get as different physical limitations. As I'm looking at 3D modeling, and I was just learning the software, the students are just relying on those families and just plopping them into the solution. And I've challenged them and said, this client that we're working with, this persona, is not using a wheelchair. Why are you providing them with a wheelchair accessible? Well, that's what ADA requires. ADA, the Americans with Disability Act, does not govern residential environments unless it's a like an apartment building, and they have to have so many. So that's kind of a sticking point for me. So I'm working multidiscipline. I'm a construction management master's. I have a bachelor's in interior design and an associate's in interior design, and then my PhD will be from Polytech with most of my committee from the School of Construction Management, but also I'm honored to have an industrial engineer who's going to be up here next on my committee. So, and he's helping me a lot. What I learned about like when I first envisioned, I wanted my patients or my clients to be able to immerse in the environment. You know, I wanted to show them what it would be like to walk through the space that I'm proposing. And oftentimes, medical people are proposing these modifications to their home, and I want them to see this is where the grab bar will be and feel it. And you know, you can't really do that in an elevation. So I learned that you can take gaming software and export your 3D model into the gaming software and create these virtual environments. So that was really good news to me. And I'm working to educate my own industry. Interior designers really don't have the knowledge they need to have about these, you know, don't just rely on the ADA. I kind of said that a lot. And then the medical professionals, the occupational therapists especially, are taking on the burden of being designers. And I think we as interior designers need to assist them in that effort because they're the ones that are in the foxhole, so to speak, trying to do what I think interior designers are not doing adequately. Obviously, we've talked about this, and I don't want to run out of time, but falls are a big problem. My objective with my dissertation is to provide safe environments. So that's, you know, stuff we know about. And just looking, like I've said, I think I kind of introduced this, a lot of the research is coming from the medical, social sciences, you know, anybody and everybody except architecture and interior design. And unless it's a multifamily environment, like a assisted living center or something like that. I'm very passionate about allowing people to stay in their homes if that's what they want, and I think a lot of people do. I learned that a lot of home modifications are rejected by homeowners, and I'm really interested in Marissa's work about who the primary caregiver is. And I know so many times I've heard people say, well, I hated to do it, but I didn't have any choice. We had to put mom in a nursing home. And I'm like, why? You know, was she, you know, how's she doing? Well, she's not happy. She cries every day. It's like, this is a major issue for us in the construction and the interiors industry. We've got to figure out a way that the families are convinced that their parents will be safe. And I think this architectural visualization tool can do a lot for that. So I want to show what I'm talking about. And so you can see, if you've ever looked at a set of floor plans, if you've ever looked at elevations, hopefully you can see what it would be like. They're going to cue it up for me. Okay, so this is a 3D walkthrough. I'm toying with the idea of virtual reality, and I would love people's thoughts on that. To actually put a headset on and go into the space. So we're going to walk into this space, and I'm going to run out of time. But I can show my clients what it would be like. They could say, well, I couldn't get through that doorway. Or they can say, oh, I love the fact that this island is sturdy and strong, you know, as I walk them through the space that I'm proposing. And this is not my architectural visualization. This is one that was done by a professional firm. Mine will hopefully be this nice. But, and so I don't have the accessible amenities in it yet. But, you know, just looking at this, they can say, well, I think it would be scary. I remember when I was using a cane, so much seating didn't have arms on it that I could push up out of. You know, and if you see it to scale like you're seeing this, you would be able to quickly say, I'd be afraid to sit in that sofa, especially so many armless chairs in doctors' waiting rooms. And then you go in the bedroom and you can see, my client could quickly say, well, I need, you know, that's great. I can reach the bedside table and I can get my medications. In the bathroom, we left the bathroom already, but you could see, I like the roll-in shower, or the walk-in shower, or the curbless shower, but I really feel like I need something to grab on. Would those doors be safe enough to bear my weight? And the answer is no. We need to provide something to support you. So again, as you walk through the house, you can really feel what it's like to be there. And I'm really excited that the technology that with the gaming software and with 3D modeling software that I can create this type of visualization, and I can teach, hopefully make available to occupational therapists who are challenged often with recommending home modifications, or construction specialists who say, just tell me what to do, I'll build it. You know, some construction specialists are certifying themselves as aging in place specialists, but most of the ones that I've talked to so far, they're like, you just tell me what to do and I'll do it. And the ones that are certifying themselves are being taught ADA compliant, and that's not, and several other codes and standards that aren't exactly what we need. So I'll wrap up. I think I'm out of time, right? So let me just go. I don't know why my clicker won't click. And my contact information, if anybody's interested, I'm here at Purdue, so Wilder 2. And I will be conducting my study, and I would love, people, I'm going to do qualitative and quantitative, so, quick survey, see the video, and then also I'd like to do some interviews with people, construction people, medical people, interior design people. I talk to them all the time, but okay, now we have time for questions?
Great. Okay, thank you, Denise.
Did I use up all my question time?
Yes, yes, we do have time for a couple of questions.
Thank you very much. A lovely talk. It's quite evident how useful this is. I was just thinking about your idea of using virtual reality, and I'm aware that there is an issue of nausea when people use it. So I was curious what you thought about older individuals using that technology.
I am very concerned about that. I'm susceptible personally to motion sickness, and Dr. Pitts and I talk a lot about, but a lot of the people that I've been telling about this as I've been developing it, they say, I want to do the virtual reality part. I want to put on the goggles. But I did back up. I mean, at first I was saying I was going to do augmented reality, virtual reality, and one of my committee members insisted I just call it architectural visualization, and she made me do deep research into what architectural visualization is. And I really think maybe later, as virtual reality becomes more accessible and less dizzying, maybe. But yeah, you're exactly right. That's something I've backed off on for my dissertation, but hopefully I'll be able to look at it and offer it again, because I think that would really give our clients the ability to actually be an avatar in their space and say, oh, this grab bar is too low or too high. I mean, just really experience it. But like Wendy said, not yet. It's just not there yet. I mean, I'm so excited about the technology, and I think it's the key, and I keep putting a lot of smart home technology in my master's thesis and my dissertation, and they're like, why, you're not really studying that? And I'm like, it's the key to keeping people independent, and, I really feel strongly about that, so I'm anxious to see how it grows. Okay.
Kind of going off of that same question, some of these things that you're trying to implement in the homes of people are just like tweaks to their environment, not like a full-on renovation. So maybe the augmented reality part could combat the nausea because they're already in their current space. Have you tried to maybe play around with just using the augmented reality part, like of altering their current environment slightly?
That's an excellent idea. I haven't, but that's an excellent idea, because you're exactly right. It would put them in the space that they're familiar with. And I don't know a whole lot about it. I know I've played Pokemon Go, or Pokemon Go, is that what it's called? And, so I understand, that's all I know about augmented reality is actually, but yeah, great idea, because that's what first captured my eye, reading a paper about using augmented reality. And I thought that would be perfect for my work and for my clients. So, okay. Well, thank you all so much.